Roblox creepypastas can come in all shapes and sizes, whether it be a rumored vault hidden within Roblox or an account capable of causing chaos to the platform. Lots of them have been recognized by the community, which shows that an audience exists for this kind of stuff. In this video, we're going to be covering another Roblox creepypasta. However, this one is said to stalk players and stare at them in-game until he commands them to say the phrase, "Through blindness, I can see everything." Declining to do so will make him permanently blind the player, but saying the phrase will make him stop bothering the player. This is the story of the Eyeless Man, Roblox's blind stalker. In order for this video to make sense, we need to ask ourselves a simple question. Who is the Eyeless Man? For those of you that don't know, the Eyeless Man is a Roblox creepypasta / myth that is about a supposed entity that stalks Roblox players in-game and aims to get you to say the phrase, "Through blindness, I can see everything." If the player chooses not to do this, they will be permanently blinded by the Eyeless Man. Of course, nobody wants that. When you do say the phrase, the Eyeless Man will stop bothering you and go somewhere else. Speaking of which, the Eyeless Man does not have a specific target, which means that no one is safe. One thing that people often say when talking about the Eyeless Man is that they get a feeling of being uncomfortable due to recognizing the fact that someone is staring at them. This is understandable as nobody wants someone just randomly staring at them. It's also not possible to escape the Eyeless Man unless the phrase is said. Along with this, his username always changes but retains the same appearance and is only visible to the player they are stalking. It is said that the story of the Eyeless Man can be traced all the way back to November 5th, 2008, which is almost 13 years ago as of this video being released. This marks the date that this entity was discovered on Roblox. It was also on this date that the first report of the Eyeless Man was made. The report reads, November 5th, 2008. In late 2008, a player named Redacted reported that he was being stalked by someone, though the player he was being stalked by had many names but the same appearance. He first saw the man when playing Redacted. He noticed a player he thought looked cool, wearing a suit and had a unique face with a mouth and no eyes, just standing at the edge of the map not doing anything, simply watching. Later that same day, he spotted him in a different game at the edge of the map with a different username. He thought it was a bit odd and switched games. The man did not show up in the next game and he thought it was over. This was not the only time that the player encountered him. In fact, there are a total of 6 reported instances of them crossing paths with the Eyeless Man. The next encounter happened the following day and reads as follows. November 6th, 2008, the player logged on again and started patrolling a clan fort when he spotted him again. At the edge of the map, simply watching, was the same Eyeless Man. He pointed him out to the others at the fort, however no one could see him and thought he was messing with them. 6 days would go by without the user seeing the Eyeless Man in-game, which made them think that he had gone away. However, he was soon proven wrong. The third log reads, November 12, 2008. After almost a week of enduring the stalking, the player decided to finally announce publicly in the forums that he was being stalked by an Eyeless Man. He went into a game to see if he would be there. Surely enough, he was. So he approached the man and the following conversation happened. Redacted. Who the hell are you? Why do you keep following me? Eyeless Man. Redacted. Dude, tell me, I'm tired of you following me everywhere I go. Eyeless Man. Say the words. Redacted. What words? I just want you to leave. Eyeless Man. Through blindness, I can see everything. Redacted. Why do you want me to say that? Eyeless Man. Redacted. If I say it, will you just leave me alone? Eyeless Man. Yes. Redacted. Through blindness, I can see everything. Immediately after the phrase is said, the Eyeless Man leaves. One more log was recorded by the said player before going off the platform for good. The log reads, November 13th, 2008, at about 2 AM, Redacted logged off, and was relieved that he could enjoy playing Roblox without the interruption of the man. As he prepared to go to sleep and shut off his light, his closed door creaked open. He figured it was simply blowing open due to the air conditioner turning on, so he shut it. He laid back in bed and it creaked open again. Annoyingly, he closed the door again and went back to sleep. It creaked open again and again until he set a geode he had displayed in his room in front of it to make sure the breeze would not push it open. He anxiously waited for the door to creak open again, but it thankfully did not and he fell asleep. In the middle of the night, he was awoken to a scraping sound, but when he checked to see what it was, the door had opened again, and a geode had been pushed with it. He glared at the closet door mortified, and then he heard a faint whisper from within, which uttered, "Through blindness, I can see everything." He passed out and woke to darkness. He screamed for his parents. "I can't see! I can't see!" The boy was left blinded forever. There was one more player that is known to have interacted with the Eyeless Man, with 2 of their interactions being logged. The 2 logs read as follows. September 15th, 2009. In 2009, a player named Redacted came to the Hunters claiming he had been followed into multiple games by a strange player with no eyes. The Hunters did some quick research and found reports from the previous year about a similar looking player who had followed the player into many games asking him to say a phrase. The Hunters went back to the player and told him to stay alert and that they would do more research and get back to him later. September 16th, 2009. The Hunters went back to the player and told him that the last incident with this player had caused blindness in another individual. The Hunters said that the best way to avoid this was to quit Roblox altogether. To date, these are the only interactions with the Eyeless Man that have been documented. It is currently unknown if more players have interacted with him, so we don't know the true number of people that has seen the Eyeless Man. One thing we do know is that the myth/creepypasta itself has existed for quite a while, with articles of the entity going as far back as late March of 2019. Based on this, we can say that the Eyeless Man myth has existed for quite a while. The Eyeless Man is normally described as being a tall Caucasian man wearing a black suit and black leather shoes, but having no eyes. Instead, there is a black shadow that covers the upper half of his face where his eyes would be. He also has a smile despite having no eyes, which means that he has part of a face. One thing to note is that even though his username changes every time he joins a Roblox game, the Eyeless Man always has the same avatar. So, if you know what he looks like, you could theoretically spot him before he catches you. Personally, I think this avatar looks pretty good because it can represent a real person, which is something that I like. It also reminds me a bit of Diamond Eyes' former avatar, which is cool. There isn't too much for this section, but I still chose to talk about it regardless. Although there isn't a lot for this section, I'm still gonna go over the Eyeless Man's personality. He is typically depicted as being a very dangerous myth to interact with some examples of this including stalking players for long periods of time and permanently blinding a player. This is despite the fact that no one has had a proper conversation with the Eyeless Man. He is also known to show aggressive and antisocial behavior towards his victims, which might put them off more. Apart from this, however, there isn't much known about the Eyeless Man's personality. After all, he's a pretty mysterious entity. There are some theories of something different. That is, assuming he doesn't change his display name into something other than his username. If this is confirmed to have been the case, then it increases the possibility that he uses alternate accounts to stalk his victims in-game and make them say his phrase. Those are all of the theories regarding the Eyeless Man that are known. Just remember, these are theories, which means they are not fact. There are a few pieces of trivia that one should know about the Eyeless Man. As one might know, trivia is just extra facts that are relevant enough to make it onto the video. So, let's get into it. The first piece of trivia is that one player has claimed to have escaped the Eyeless Man by simply quitting Roblox. However, there is no evidence to support that this is true, therefore it is only speculation. The second piece of trivia is that there are 4 known encounters with the Eyeless Man. In 3 of these encounters, the players supposedly lost their vision. This isn't that big of a surprise considering the fact that one of the Eyeless Man's powers is being able to make people blind. Keeping this in mind, it shows how dangerous he really is. The fourth and final piece of trivia is that Kazam has written a note about the Eyeless Man for those to read. Just note, this was from before he got kicked out of the Roblox mid community in August of 2020. Anyway, the note reads, "The Eyeless Man is one of the few story-oriented myths, meaning there is little to no proof of his existence that has been seen by multiple people, all unrelated, and each of their experiences has been identical. So, because of this, the Foundation has classified him as an entity like any other myth and considered to be physical, despite the lack of evidence to support such a claim. If you come into any evidence of the Eyeless Man, please ensure it gets into the Foundation personnel hands. Thank you." It's a pretty interesting read as it gives a different view on the Eyeless Man. Those are all the pieces of trivia regarding the Eyeless Man that one should know. So, what did we learn in this video? The Eyeless Man is a Roblox mid/creepypasta that is about a figure that is set to stalk random players in-game and make them say his phrase. Failure to do so will result in the player being blinded. He does not target anyone in specific, so no one is safe. It is known that the Eyeless Man was discovered on November 15, 2008, which means that the entity is not new. Several encounters were recorded, with one of them ending in a child going permanently blind. This proves how dangerous he actually is. The Eyeless Man is described as being a tall Caucasian man in a suit without eyes, which gives him a demon-like appearance. His personality includes being a very dangerous individual to interact with, which is something to keep in mind. It is also theorized that the Eyeless Man is still active via using alternate accounts, which has a bit of merit to it. Overall, the Eyeless Man is a Roblox creepypasta that is unique in its concept and execution of the story. It's gathered a bit of attention over the years, with articles on a creepypasta being made as recently as early 2019. Even though the Eyeless Man isn't the biggest creepypasta in Roblox history, it is sure to gain popularity as time goes on and more people find out about it. That being said, the Eyeless Man will forever be a famous Roblox mid/creepypasta, and that's everything.